Hello, welcome to this weather update. It is about 9:30 on July 24th, 2019. And before I get started, I just want to bring up that, News 12 Long Island, you know what they were talking about today. Yeah, you can take a guess. But News 12 New Jersey, on the other hand, actually did a story on this. Now, this is something that Cuomo never does. We've had storms on Long Island. He doesn't go and tour the areas that were damaged. But Phil Murphy does. And the point is, Phil Murphy cares about the people, all the people, not just some people like Cuomo. And Cuomo only cares about these finance professionals and Wall Street. But Phil Murphy cares about everybody. And I want you to watch this story because he actually brought up the fact that these storms, climate change contributed to these damaging storms we've been having. He actually brought it up. So I really like Phil Murphy. I really think he's doing a great job as New Jersey's governor with climate, with transit, whereas what we're doing, it feels like we have Christie as our governor in New York, all right? Because he's cutting, Cuomo's cutting, they're going to, MTA's laying off people, he's downsizing the MTA, which is the wrong thing to do when you're having climate crisis. You should be encouraging people, you should be expanding the MTA and encouraging people to take mass transit and expanding the transit system. But that's just something I had to bring up. I just had to give my 2 cents on that because, again, no, I don't want to live in New Jersey because it's too hot there, all right? Of course, a lot of people like Cuomo would like me to live in New Jersey. They want to force us out, and the Wall Street wants to purge us into New Jersey, but it's too damn hot there. How can I survive? There's no way I can survive that kind of climate that they have. So, I mean, anyway, let's get to this weather update. That's enough. I've already given more than 2 cents. Given like 20 cents now. Anyway, let's take a look at the weather that we have going on today, of course, outside. We'll go over. We had some interesting cloud formations throughout the day. Really, a lot of puffy cumulus and cumulus congestus around. It was kind of pretty. But that's because there's still some humidity around today. So right now, temperature is 72. But look at the dew point at Farmingdale, 64. So the air is not that dry today. We had dew points in the midst. There was a little bit of dry air in the early afternoon, and then the humidities just went back up again. And we had dew points in the mid-60s, so not that dry. High hit 81 at Farmingdale. And now we'll contrast that to New Jersey, where I'm sure it was a lot worse, which is my point. So Mount Holly's finally back. It was knocked out, I think, for a while. So Miller Air Park at 70 degrees in Toms River. What did Toms River hit? 83, it says here. So it hit 83. But even more humid there. They had a 71-degree dew point. And look at that. They must have had a shower because looks like they picked up something. So we're going to have to see if there was a shower that hit that area. Or we'll have to look at the Vent2Sky radar and see if there was indeed a shower in that area, which would be kind of interesting to see if there was. We'll have to look at the radar and see if that happened. But anyway, let's go and look at the satellite right now. So here is the satellite. And you can see we had, we can run this a little. Well, I'll look at the MODIS. We had some clouds around there. It wasn't a clear day, and it was a little humid, but I'm a little more concerned about this area of, we'll pause it right there. Hold on, we'll wait for it to loop one more time, and I'll pause it. Right there. There's some smoke over here. So we'll have to see if this smoke moves into our area or not. I see some smoke over here. Let's look at the MODIS satellite and see if we can see that on the MODIS as well. So here is the MODIS satellite. Let's just put the states in, and you can see here today. You can see we had some cirrus around, we had some pop-up cumulus around, and we had some humidity around too. It wasn't a really dry, crisp day. This is the smoke I'm worried about that might wind up affecting our area, and this smoke is coming all the way from Alaska. So take a look at this. You see these fires still burning out of control in Alaska, and the smoke is traveling all the way down through Canada and getting caught up. And we may wind up getting some of this smoke tomorrow, and perhaps Friday into the weekend as well. We'll have to see, because it looks like it's diving down toward us. So we're going to have to see. We may be dealing with some of this smoke. Unfortunately, you can see it right here. So the smoke could return, unfortunately for us, and ruin what could be some nice weather for us. Because I felt some of the effects of the smoke today. I just felt like a little more winded than normal. And that's definitely a concern of ours. I guess I'll have to look at Earth and Old School and look at that and see the forecast for the smoke. If we want to look at that too, I guess I'll have to look at that too. So let's go to Vent2Sky right now. We'll look at Vent2Sky, and I want to see if there was a shower over Tom's River at all at any point today, because they did record .01, or maybe it was just a sprinkle. I'm just curious. I didn't see anything on the radar. It must be this little thing right here that moved over. Must have been like a little tiny little pop-up shower that just moved over that area. When you have this kind of, you have a little humidity in the air, that's what happens. So that's the thing. And we can look at the dew points as well. I can change those dew points. You can see it was cooler on the South Shore, of course, today. It was kind of warm inland. It was kind of hot actually when I went out around in the afternoon. It was kind of hot. So dew points in the mid 60s, and we have temperatures that are mainly in the 70s now. So it's not that uncomfortable out there. It's just a little. It's not really crisp and dry like you'd like to have, but it's very hard to get that. That's the problem. So we'll go to earthandoldskool.net, look at the smoke, and then I'm gonna look at the models. So let's see what we have here with the smoke situation. So we'll just go to particles. See if we can find any smoke here. Yeah, there's some smoke around. Doesn't show up great on here though. Let's move. You can sort of see the smoke here. So let me move this to tomorrow. Go a day. Yeah. Don't be surprised if it moves into our area. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Let's look at the models now, and let's see what's going to be happening. So we'll first look at the overall pattern of the GFS. See this weak high building, and it's weak. It's not that strong. And I want to see, and then we have the ridge building, and then we could be playing with more stall fronts again. It's heading to August. But it looks like a good, maybe it's still indicating sometimes we get in August a really big cool down. I hope so. I really hope so. So let's take a closer look at our area. We'll just be looking at the GFS, I guess, mainly today. Looking at the temperatures through the rest of this week and the weekend. So let's see where we will be at tomorrow. So tomorrow, Thursday, we're going to be in the mid-80s. So it won't be that cool of a day. It still won't be that cool. We'll be in the mid-80s. And for Friday, same thing, maybe some upper 80s, and maybe near 90 in parts of New Jersey. And then the weekend, we have the same kind of regime going with the temperatures. And then we get into Sunday, same thing, maybe a little hotter on Sunday, maybe near 90 North Shore, maybe middle of Nassau, and probably over 90 in Jersey for that day. But it's all about the dew points, because you want to feel comfortable when you have low dew points. And we have patchy dry air trying to build into the area tomorrow. You'll see dew points that will be dropping into the 50s across most of Long Island. However, further east you go toward the east end, it could still be near 60. Again, it's just a weak front. You can see the front is still kind of, it can't suppress all the humidity away. It could also be higher humidity in the Jersey Shore as well. As we go into, you can see the wind barbs too. There will be a sea breeze setting up in the afternoon because there is such a weak flow, so it will be cooler on the South Shore, of course. As we go into Friday, humidity starts creeping up already. We have dew points already going up into the upper 60s across Suffolk County. Still some dry air that might try to hang on in Nassau, western Suffolk, City, Hudson Valley. But then dew points are on the rise, and they'll be on the rise even further. Saturday, you'll see dew points into the 60s. And same thing for Sunday as well. But not terribly humid. It'll be humid, but not terribly humid. So that's the point. It won't be as bad as it was, but it won't be crisp and dry. If you want that crisp, dry air with dew points in the 70s, I'm sorry, I don't see it right now. You're going to have to wait, and if we move this along, you'll have to wait a long time. Perhaps as we get into later in August, we finally get that decent front that'll finally push this out. But you know, this is way in the long range. So that's the thing. We still got this pattern with this stupid ridge here that's just basically been ruining our lives all summer long, basically, at this point. So now we'll look at the skies. And go into Thursday. Will we clear this? We should hopefully have clear skies. And again, this doesn't show the smoke. So at least we could have some decent skies tomorrow. That'll be good. Looks like it's indicating a little more cloudiness along the Jersey Shore, probably because there'll be more humidity there. Long Island will be clearer. And for Friday, you can see some cirrus try to sneak in on us again. But I still think Long Island will be okay. More clouds to the Jersey Shore. But again, this doesn't indicate the smoke. Saturday could be scattered cloudiness. Sunday, scattered cloudiness, but not, you know, the sun will be out every day. We should have a decent amount of sunshine. Whether it'll be a blue sky or not, that remains to be seen. We have to watch the smoke. Don't be surprised that smoke ruins it for us. Let's look at the NAM. and see what the NAM has. So we're looking at tomorrow on the NAM. You can see the NAM kind of has some clouds around developing, mainly Jersey Shore, eastern Long Island, some patchy clouds. What about Friday? Same deal for Friday, a little bit of patchy clouds. And again, if there's smoke around, there's more condensation nuclei, which could create more cloudiness. So that's something to watch. Let's look at the dew points here on this, because the NAM sometimes has a tendency to be a little more accurate with the dew points. Dew points should be lower, but you see when that sea breeze comes in, the dew points rise because the ocean temperatures are in the well into the 70s. So that's something to be concerned about. And then look at this. The NAM actually has something forming over there off the coast there. Looks like that's kind of interesting. Let me go back to the clouds. Is that a tropical system trying to form off the coast? It could be. It could be. Let's look at the radar. Yeah, something might be getting going there. I thought things would be simple, but no, there's something else to watch now. So we have this tropical system trying to form off the southeast coast, and this is what's going to be what I'm expecting this season, is that we're going to see a lot of activity in this area here because of the warm water temperature anomalies. And again, this is awfully close to where we are. Luckily, this time it stays offshore, but we don't know. You know, you could have something form over here and then wind up hitting us. So this is something to be concerned about. Here it is on the NAM. You can see it clearly. I'm curious with the winds. The winds probably aren't going to be. It looks very weak, but still, it's disturbing. This doesn't give the. Yeah, it does here. Let's look at the wind here. See if we can. Yeah, nothing really strong, but you can clearly see that there is a circulation here. So this would probably be a weak tropical storm. But still, you're seeing things starting to form already, and we're only in late July, and we have a long way to go with the season. I'm curious if this shows up on the GFS or not. Only the NAM seems to be picking up on it, it seems. Yeah, only the NAM shows it. So the NAM, only the NAM shows it. Let me see if the ICON shows it. Yeah, that's that low right there. Yep, ICON has it too. Just very weak, but this is something that we'll need to watch for sure, and keep our eye on, because that's definitely something I'm a little concerned about. So we have Tropical Depression Delilah, or where's this? This is off the west coast, I think. This is the west coast, so this is Delilah. Is this off the west coast? Where is this? It looks like the west coast, so it's off the west coast. I don't really pay attention to that, but it's very weak, and it's off the west coast, so it's not going to be an issue for us, but we'll look at it anyway. There it is. But that's off the west coast. I believe it's off the west coast. It's kind of hard to say. If I have it wrong, I do apologize. But I think that's the west coast. And then there's 91W Invest. This one is in the Pacific, so alright, we're not going to even look at that. So we've got to keep our eye out on this, and we'll look at the southeast satellite, and you can see this area. It would be this area of convection right here if it gets organized. We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, I'm not sure what's going to happen. It all depends on the models, and we'll actually go back to the models, and I'll just look at the European model and see if it shows up on the European model. So far, only the NAM seems to have a good signature of that storm, but let's see if the European picks up on it. Euro sort of picks up on it. Yep, Euro sort of picks up on it. So we'll have to see what happens. There it is, right there. So we'll have to keep our eye on it, that's for sure. And, with these conditions offshore, again, I'm going to tell you about these anomalies. Look at these anomalies. These are the sea surface temperature anomalies off the east coast, and we have some really very warm water. So we're going to look at the anomalies now and show you what the anomaly is. So 3.4 degrees Celsius anomaly. Of course, I prefer to use Fahrenheit. Some people prefer Celsius. Fahrenheit is what we use in the United States, and I prefer it because it's a more finer measurement than the Celsius. 6.2 degrees above normal, 6.6 degrees above normal. So you have all this warm water here that is really, and look at this patch, 8.9 degrees above normal. So you have all this warm water. This is why the humidity is hanging on. This is what keeps the ridge in place, and this is what also feeds tropical systems as well. And that's a big concern. So we'll look at the actual water temperatures offshore now. And So we have a 72-degree reading over here. Let's take a look. We have in this area here 83 degrees. That's above 80. That can support a hurricane. And look at this, 78. So we have water temperatures nearing 80 south of Long Island, and it's not even August yet. We don't usually peak in water temperatures until late August. So, and off the Jersey Shore, you already have 80, 81 degrees with these water temperatures. So, very concerning. 85, 85. I'm telling you, folks, this is going to be the summer from hell. Not just the humidity, not just the thunderstorms, but there is a strong possibility that we could have some kind of impact with the tropical system on the East Coast. With given the pattern that we're in and given these water temperatures, this could be the year we could see something bad. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, a lot to worry about. Anyway, I think that does wrap up this weather update, so I want to thank you for watching, and take care, and hopefully we can get through this season without anything impacting the East Coast. But I'm telling you, folks, with these water temperatures the way they are offshore, I would not be surprised if something does form and wind up impacting somewhere along the East Coast. And if it has to go anywhere, let it go right to Washington, D.C. Maybe it'll finally wake those people up there about how serious this climate emergency is. Anyway, that wraps up this weather update. Take care, and thank you for watching.